All right. We are here. We're here. We're here to talk about we're here to talk about the Miami Hurricanes. South Coast Canes. Sometimes it's crazy. Scary how me and Shad, the great think alike. Hey, well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if we're the only two people that, think like this. So, um, like I say I always do, looking at that ain't it. I'm tripping. QB, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man. Anyway, get this out of here. Golly, man. Trying to get this situated. I ain't even got my stuff together yet. I'm so bothered right now. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm bothered, but you know, anyway. Oh snap. Give me a second. There we go. It's always interesting. Paste. All right. So the link is in the chat. Anybody want to join? But anyway, we're gonna get started. So first off, congratulations to the University of Michigan winning their first national title. Well, winning their first outright national championship because in '97 I think it was a shared type of deal. So winning their outright national championship, right? Team that faced some adversity. I don't have to go through this. I'm not a Michigan fan. We all know what transpired with the Condor Stallions, their head coach being suspended for, I believe, a total of 6 games this year, and they were able to persevere and and make it through. Uh, got South Coast that's in the back, so hang tight for a second. Let me get this out the way. Let me get this out the way. So the question of the night is this for the chat. This is for South Coast. As soon as he jumps on here, the question of the night is: what does Michigan winning the national championship have to do with the University of Miami? What does it have to do with it? We're gonna talk about the transfer portal quarterback. I know that's a hot topic, so I'm gonna give my thoughts on this situation, and we're gonna get straight to it. But without further ado, we got South Coast building.
What's up, dude? What's up?
South Coast, what is going on? What is going on? We got the wrong. Hey, South Coast, you got the wrong colors on. We supposed to have on maize and yellow right now. Supposed to have on maize and
Uh,
yellow because apparently, UM can stand for Miami and Michigan.
right, right. You know,
apparently,
it's
apparently.
I said it earlier today. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All the comparisons come out. You
Oh
know,
boy, we're gonna
Eh,
talk. We're gonna
eh,
talk tonight, South Coast. We're gonna
eh,
talk.
but you know what the crazy thing is, Shad? First off, how you doing, bro?
South Coast, I'm doing wonderful. My team just won a national championship yesterday.
But
I'm
what happened? What happened to your quarterback?
What happened to my quarterback? Man, collateral damage. Whatever it takes for
I
the U.
know,
Hey,
I know,
whatever it takes
I
for
know.
UM to get a title, baby.
I hear you. Uh nah, dude.
How do they do it? Do they do the how do they? What is the
uh,
sign for? What is the sign for? Is it a W for
I
woman?
thought that
Like,
was
what are we
Wisconsin.
doing?
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what to do with my hands right now.
I know. I know. Uh
All
man,
right, QB.
a lot of people taking their hands and extending the thumb and putting it up something. But anyway, no,
I hope.
it's crazy, dude, because it seems like every time at this year after the championship game, all the comparisons come out.
Yeah, Anthony. You gotta get by Anthony. Oh, yeah.
You know. What's up? What's up?
Hey,
What's
fellas,
up?
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Yeah, I was reading an article recently. I can't remember which hurricane site wrote it. They're saying uh, Mario is trying to build it like uh, how Harbaugh's did it at Michigan right now. That he doesn't need the way he runs his offense doesn't really need an elite superstar quarterback and stuff like that. Would you guys consider? JJ McCarthy elite? When you look at him, his talent, like, would you consider him elite?
Um, if okay, well, you're asking the question, both of us. Again, I like to go around. I like to go around the world when I answer certain questions, but I'm gonna try to say concise. From a skill set standpoint, JJ McCarthy is an elite talent. Now, he's not being used that way because one of those passes that he made yesterday, where I think it was the first pass he threw, he scrambled out. The first read one there, he's going backwards and throws a spiral to his guy. That's an elite trait that he has, but they don't ask him to do that. Maybe South Coast will.
No, based on the system. Based on the system is what you're
Based
saying.
on the system,
The way
No.
Harbaugh uses his quarterbacks, they don't need to be elite.
no, but they have to be an athlete though. I will say that.
I think McCarthy's a good fit for that offense. As far as elite goes, I really can't speak to that, but it looks to me like he's the right guy for that situation at Michigan. I guess if that makes any sense.
No, and the reason why I asked that question because he's going into the NFL, and there's not really a lot of teams that run that system in the NFL. Really, like maybe the closest thing maybe would be San Francisco or Miami, but not a lot of teams run that pure West Coast offense that Harbaugh runs and stuff like that. It's mainly spread offenses in the NFL now. So that's where the question was coming from in terms of evaluating to the next level because it's a pro style offense that Harbaugh's running. It's not a spread offense like a spread or what's it called? A air raid offense that you see most of the NFL teams running and stuff like that. There's only a few teams that run that style of offense that Harbaugh runs. Shad?
Yeah.
Is what I was saying. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, it depends on the way you're asking the question. If you're saying is he elite here at the collegiate level, I think he has elite talent. But as far as that offense,
it's not consistent enough.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I'll do it like this. I can get on a bicycle one day and ride it with someone helping me. But if I don't get back on that bicycle again for a year, I'm not going to look that good on a bicycle. And so they don't ask him to do a lot. And when they do ask for him to do it, it becomes a problem, So I'm not going to say that's on him. You can look at that and say that's coaching because you're not asking him to do a lot. But from a skill set standpoint, I think JJ McCarthy is an elite guy, big arm, can run. I mean, he reminds me, he can be a Josh Allen type at the next level.
No, you know who he reminds me of Matt Ryan coming out of Georgia. Was it Georgia or Georgia Tech that Ryan went to?
You said Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan played at Boston College.
Yeah, coming out of Boston College. That's who he, like JJ. Ryan can run a little bit, but not like it's not to like he's not a rushing quarterback. He uses it to extend the style. I always say to some of these kids that extend the pocket, they're an Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to use it to what's it called to run the ball and give you rushing yards. They're using it to extend the pocket horizontal sideline to sideline. They're not going to make you. They're not a Michael Vick or something like that. These kids are they're following Aaron Rodgers' model where they're not going to use it to run you out, like beat you with their feet, like to run they can get you 5 or 6 yards, but they're not going to give you like 10, 20, 30 yards like a Jalen Hurts is what I'm saying. Like that's where I see a JJ McCarthy. He's in that Aaron Rodgers model where they use it to their feet to extend the pocket. They're not going to run the ball. You know what I'm saying?
But I would have to push back because that run that JJ McCarthy got when they were bagged up at the goal line, it was 3rd and 8, and he busted out. That's why I say I think he's more athletic than
Than
he's
people
given
given
credit
credit
for,
for.
because they're not asking him to do that, you know. But I think if and I'm not just hypothetically speaking, I think if JJ McCarthy was playing for, let's say, Florida State or something, he would look like a completely different quarterback. You know what I
Or
mean?
like a Miami with Shannon Dawson, like those spread offenses.
Yeah. I mean, because
The pro style offense really doesn't ask his core. That pro style offense that Harb, we're talking about the national championship
yeah,
specifically. And the scheme that Harbaugh runs specifically doesn't really ask their quarterbacks to be mobile. That's the issue. Like
they do a lot
he's
of
the old
bootleg.
school Bill Walsh type West Coast offense and
I mean,
stuff like that.
you it things change based on
Hmm.
just the way the game is. So I think in today's time, the quarterback like what the 49ers have, which they're running an extension of what Bill Walsh ran, I think they would have a guy like a
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy and the guy that they have now. Um, but
Back to the Hurricanes. Actually, what are you guys' thoughts on that Poffenbacher burger?
Hoff and Bach,
So,
I'm gonna let
hey,
South Coast. I'm gonna let South Coast answer it because his sources told us we were getting a quarterback from New York. So I just want to know what type of intel does he have that he was not able to disclose.
well, I can't disclose a lot. Uh, you would have to be part of the membership. What's up, Faith? Ah, so HR puffing stuff. Well, my first gut reaction when I saw it was, and I'm gonna be honest with you,
Oh my god!
really, an FCS from Albany, really, the dude's only 6 foot tall. He could probably dunk. He can dunk a basketball, but that was my gut reaction. I'm like, really? But I let that cake bake a little bit, and I'm like, well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know if the quality of the opponent, the defenses he's faced. I don't know.
I don't blame him.
Uh, oh no. But I mean, as far as anointing him
The starter.
the second coming of Ken Dorsey or Bernie Kosar, we'd have to pump the brakes on that. I really think it's going to probably help Jakari. It's going to help Emory.
Emery and Judd.
It's going to help Judd, just for the simple fact it's going to give a little more competition. But we'll see.
See,
Right now, I'm
I,
kind of indifferent.
yeah, Shad. The comparison I had for like situation wise, because let's not forget when Baker got to Oklahoma, he wasn't recruited by them. He was a walk on. He was a walk on quarterback. The situation is the same. People were hesitant on getting. Oklahoma fans are the same way we are with Reese, with Baker, because he was a walk on. He didn't earn a scholarship till the middle of the season at Oklahoma and stuff like that. That's the situation, and his personality, like he has that gunslinger Brett Favre. He's Brett Favre-ish to me when you see him play. Do you guys see that a little bit? A little bit Brett Favre.
I haven't watched
I haven't either.
anything, so I'm following your lead on this. You know, I have
Yeah.
no opinion on the young man.
I cannot go. What's all y'all doing, man?
What's up, Lakers?
Hey,
What's
Lakers.
up, man? What's up?
Lakers about to get confrontational, man.
All right, look.
Lakers
No,
good people, man.
I'm
Lakers
good. I'm
good
good.
people.
No, I mean, what I've seen from Reese, from like the highlights or whatever. I mean, he's confident in himself. He can throw the ball down the field. That's all. I mean, he can run. He's a really. I mean, I like him, but I don't think he's gonna start over Jakari. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna come here and just start over. He might be the second string or maybe the third string, but he's not gonna come over here and start. You feel me? I don't think so.
And don't
Yeah,
forget, we
saying?
still have Talia. We still might get Talia even after Reese. guys? Talia?
Oh, I mean, Tua. I mean,
Uh,
if
do
we
we
have
really need?
Reese, yeah, I know we don't. I know we don't need Tua, brother, no more because we have Shikari, Emery, and now him. So
And
we don't
Judd,
need.
too.
Yeah, so we don't need another quarterback. That's only 5 quarterbacks. We
I
know.
think well with Puffin stuff, that'll help with Emery and
Shikari.
Judd.
Hmm.
You know, I think again right now, my thinking, it's just my opinion. I think it's Jakari, Puffin stuff, Emery, then Judd.
Wait, that's his name, Puffin stuff.
Nah, what's it called? Pop
Poffenberger.
pop it,
Poffenberger.
pop that
I
burger,
Poffenberger.
can't say all that.
pop
I'm gonna just
that
call him
burger,
Reese. That's all I'm
pop
gonna say
that
is
burger,
Reese.
baby, pop that burger.
I
Oh,
mean,
jeez.
but like, let me ask you a question. How do you think Poppenberger or whatever y'all call him? How do you think he will adapt to, like, the ACC defense?
That's to be seen.
How about what you think? You think he's gonna have just come out here and just start chucking stuff up, or you think he's gonna?
I
Because
think
I'm just saying in practice.
I think this is what's gonna be the telltale sign. If he throws with anticipation, which is a trait that a lot of quarterbacks don't have, then because I know they've made mention about maybe his arm isn't the strongest.
No, it's
But
not. It's not.
maybe if he could throw with some anticipation or something like that,
Mhm.
because I think our offense is based on a lot of timing. So if he's a timing type of guy and that's one of his stronger attributes, then I could see him,
Yeah.
adjusting and picking up pretty quick.
He
But
has tools on. He doesn't have a noodle arm. He doesn't have a cannon. He's right in the middle. He doesn't have a weak arm. He doesn't have a cannon arm. He's right. He's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type quarterback. They're gonna. He's not gonna throw those amount of interceptions, but the arm. I'm comparing the arm strength. He doesn't have that elite arm Patrick Mahomes type talent, but he's in the middle. Like he's not a noodle arm like we say Tua is with the
But
Dolphins.
hey, listen, I low key want to talk about the Dolphins so bad right now, but we're not gonna talk about them. Go ahead,
No,
come on.
no.
That's
But
already
but it also depends on what playbook Dawson has for pop
Reese.
that burger.
everybody has the same playbook.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, but I think with Poffenberger, I'm gonna say this. I think there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more. I think more of an open playbook because I think he had. I think Dawson had to limit what in terms of the rollouts and the not the rollouts. What are they called? The bootlegs and stuff because Emery and Tyler are not that type of quarterback. They're gonna roll out, but they're not gonna extend it all the way to the sideline and stuff like that to throw the ball. They're not that type of quarterback. They're a pocket passer and stuff like that. So I think a guy like Poffenberger, because of his athleticism, and he's more consistent with the tape I've seen. He's more consistent with his arm. I like Jakari, but his arm is very inconsistent. Do you guys agree?
I mean, he has.
Of the tape you saw coming out of high school, his arm was very inconsistent. Like he's
Well, Anthony, we are 2 years removed from him being in high school now. So I mean, we can't really look at that.
No, but that's a tape we have of him.
We can't look
He
at that
struggles
tape.
with.
We gotta look at the Rutgers tape.
Thank God you don't have the tape of me 2 years ago.
We can't do that. But
But can you understand where I'm coming from?
I can understand. I can understand where you're coming from. But I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this question, Anthony, and it's kind of what do you picture him being a starter here?
Jakari?
No.
Poffenberger?
Yes.
If we get to Leah, no. But if it's an open competition, I'm okay with Jakari starting if he beats him out fair and square in spring practice. I'm okay with Reese being the sorry,
Sound like
the
Clip the
backup,
other night.
the backup, and stuff like that. Sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like I said, I'm okay with Reese being the backup, and if Ja'Cory beats him out fair and square, him and Judd, because we're not gonna. When is realistically, we're gonna? Would we see him in the middle of the summer? Emory coming back from his injury, like during summer practice, the summer session, or
I saw someone say he could be back for spring, so I don't know.
Well, the good thing is it's not his throwing arm. So.
Yeah, it's not his throwing arm, so he can probably go through drills. And
would you guys be shocked? Let's say this kid. Would you guys be surprised or shocked if you find out Judd beats everybody out?
Well, I mean, if it's on the field and it's competition and it's just footballology, then yeah, best man wins. But time will tell. Because really we have nothing to go on right now. Let's be honest. Emory had Clemson, Florida State, mop up duty. Ja'Cory, he finally got on the field to get in the pinstripe game. So yeah, it's wide open.
Didn't Emory start against Clemson? I thought.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah. Emory had Clemson and Florida State. He was a good game manager, but we got that. And like I said, Ja'Cory, he just had that pinstripe bowl. But yeah, it's wide open competition, dude. I'm looking forward to it.
That's where I was kind of upset that Mario's. I'm not blaming him, but he waited too long. Like people said, he should have went to Cam Ward. If you're gonna decide to go to the NFL, just tell us. Like, instead of wasting. I'm not saying wasting our time, but I guess Mario has this tendency to wait too long, like sit on his hands. Do you guys agree sometimes when it comes to this type of stuff?
I mean,
it may appear so, but again, we don't know what the end game is.
Yeah, that's a great answer, South Coast. I mean, without understanding or knowing what the end game is, we can't say whether he's moving fast or if he's moving slow.
And I've always said this when people say that, though, Shad, that Mario has this. He has a mentality that Saban has. Saban is on his own timeline. He doesn't care about the fan base. If that fan base is impatient, he doesn't care. Like he has this Saban, Belichick type of mentality. Belichick had that same mentality where they don't care what the fan base. If the fan base is complaining that you're taking too long, he doesn't care.
Well, I mean, it is Mario's ass on the line, if I could be so bold, I mean, I'm not saying you should just disregard the fans, but I mean, let's be honest. That's his neck on the line. So I guess, and I'm not trying to sound like an apologist or a fanboy, but
I'm not apologizing for him. I'm just saying, like,
no, not you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
Me. I'm talking about me, not you. You're good, Anthony. I'm just saying. I mean, it's his neck. I guess he's gonna do what he thinks is best. And again, whether we like it or not, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah, and I've always said this, Shad. You've been in chats with me. You and Lakers have been in chats with me when I've said this. Rome wasn't built. Our fan base has dealt with mediocrity, and they don't have the patience to wait for Mario to build. It does. Rome wasn't built in a day. It didn't. It took him. Harbaugh, who just won the national championship. It took him 9 years to get to where he was. He was constantly on the hot seat, losing to Ohio State and losing to teams he wasn't supposed to and stuff like that at Michigan. And now he's a national championship. I'm not saying Mario's going to be like that, but let's be patient. Mario is still trying to bring in the players he wants. I hate our fan base when it comes to this. They want to fire Mario because they're not on his time. He's not on their timeline of wanting to win a championship right away and stuff like that. That's what I hate about our fan base, the lack of patience.
Well, Anthony, this is where I think, and I was having this discussion with a guy today on the message board, and I told him, I said, look, the problem with that, it's nothing wrong with what you said. Nothing wrong with anybody that feels that way at all. The problem is I feel like, and I can only speak for myself, is that some of the things that are said, as we may say, are, I don't want to say excuses, but some of the things that are said, that this is the reason that things are not moving at a certain pace. I don't like it, and that's kind of what one of the things I want to address today on this show. Season is over because a guy told me that Mario inherited a soft team, and I told him, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, give me an example of what you feel is soft." Because I said this, and I wasn't a fan of Manny. I told him this. I said, "Hey, listen, man. We had a team in 2021 that started 2-4, but ended 5-1. Final record was 7-5. We lost a starting quarterback, two starting running backs, key offensive line personnel, both starting safeties. We lost all of that. We ended up being two ranked teams to finish the season. Tell me where in the dictionary or anywhere in college football does that equate to a soft team? So it's not that Rome wasn't built in a day. The problem is, I think that when you get Mario Cristobal, and Mario Cristobal took over a team that was 7-5 himself at Oregon, that I'm not gonna say that I feel like they probably were in a better situation than us. I would say that from a winning culture standpoint. But the problem is like I don't think it would be this much flack if Mario would have at least matched 7-5 last year. And then maybe this particular year we could talk about maybe 9 wins this particular year, right? And I think that's the problem. Now, I'm not on Mario should be getting fired by any stretch because at the end of the day, I don't hold that power, and I wouldn't want to fire Mario because relationships are being cultivated. There are coaches on this particular staff that have mortgaged their future and being coaches here, so I don't want to see anyone lose their job. But the thing of it is that we're only holding Mario to the standard that he set at the University of Oregon. I don't think if Mario Cristobal was a guy that was, and we all, and some people partake in the, oh, well, he's 74 and 73 overall. Okay, fine, cool. But the standard that you set at Oregon is the standard that a lot of us in this fan base have for you at Miami. And 12-13 is not what we want to see. And we are going to be impatient. That's just human nature because I don't think now, Anthony, I'll say this. I can't speak for other fans because there are probably some fans that feel like, hey, we should be competing for a national title. I don't feel that way because I feel like I'm rational. But what I will say is there's nothing that I think that have transpired over the past 2 years where we should be 12-13 and 6-10 in conference play. That's just my thought process.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, but I who asked you were talking to I think what he meant by soft is because with Manny, I think the soft statement came from when Manny was allowing these players to celebrate when we're like using the turnover chain when we were down like 40 points by getting beat down by other teams. That's what I mean. I think that's what he meant by soft. The mentality of the team was soft because of the inability of Manny to rein in the turnover train, taking it away from the team when we were getting beat down like that and stuff like that.
Okay. I understand that particular point, but I think that's a culmination of 2019, 2020, and 2021. I'm just solely talking about 2021 because there was a changing of the guard. We got a new quarterback, which was supposed to be the leader. We had new running backs that had to take over. We had two new starting safeties that had to take over. We had offensive linemen that had to grow up. A Jalen Rivers was one of those guys. A John Campbell was one of those guys. Jalen Rivers, I'm sorry, and John Campbell, and I forget the center's name that ended up
Corey
transferring.
Gaynor.
No, not Corey Gaynor,
No.
because Corey Gaynor got hurt. I'm talking about the young man that ended up going to Houston. He came in after Corey Gaynor got hurt, because Corey Gaynor only played about 2 or 3 games that season. I can't remember his name. I hate that I can't remember his name, but he ended up transferring to Houston. And so that mentality, and I'm going to say this. There are individuals who, before I even started this channel, I would listen to their content because I loved what they brought to. I love what they brought here. And their words verbatim were James Williams, Cam Kitchens, Leonard Taylor, Don Chaney, Jalen Knighton, and even LT. Those guys had a mindset that they wanted to go ahead and they wanted to win. They wanted to fight. They wanted to compete. That's what they wanted to do. So if we want to talk about the guys that may have been on the tail end of Rick and Manny's era, fine, no problem. But the core pieces of those guys came here to win. Those guys came here to compete. Those guys came here to fight. And we saw at the end of 2021 what those guys were made of. And so I just feel like it's so demoralizing and so pitiful. Not saying this about you, Anthony, but for some people to have the perception that those guys did not give it their all, that they laid it on the line. Because again, we could have easily, after going 2-4, that season could have turned into a 4-8, 3-9, a 2-10 season. That could have easily transpired because you got a coordinator say, "Look, I just lost my senior quarterback. I got to go in here with a redshirt freshman, who we saw against the University of Alabama." And I'm gonna tell you this: I know it was Alabama. I know it was late in the game, but I looked at that pass. I said, "Oh boy, we're in some trouble if Derek King can't come back. We're in trouble." But that's what it is. Cuban Kane said he backstage, so I guess it's about to get
Finally.
I guess it's about to get active.
Finally get to talk
Finally.
to the Cuban Kane.
What is it? Finally, Cuban Kane is on Shad show. I was trying to do my rock impression, but that was not working.
That was horrible. That was horrible.
That was pretty bad.
It was.
Yeah.
This show
So Shad is being a little bit too nice, right? Because I see him on Twitter, right? So Anthony, Jordan, and Shad, I have the mighty question. What type of roster do we need to win the mighty powerful ACC? Simple question.
Here we go.
We need honestly. We can't be. We have to go against the grain of what the tradition of the ACC is, which is a lack of a consistent running game, and we need to be a more physical team than most of the teams that we're facing, because the ACC as a whole seems to be more of a spread and finesse. We need to go against the grain of what the ACC is. Cuban.
So who in the ACC has been more powerful than us, faster, stronger, more recruited than
Clemson and Florida State?
That's it.
Early in the decade.
So why are we always coming in 7th, 8th, 9th place? Us as a fan base, we're worried about, we need to be like Michigan, Georgia, Alabama. We can't even win the Coastal. We won the Coastal one time. Does everybody know who's in the Coastal? It's
North Carolina.
Conference. It's the weakest conference in college football. And we need to be like Bama, Georgia. I'm like, forget all of that. Let's
Michigan.
focus on first. You know, we won the Coastal one time, two times that was on the Golden and Mark Rick. That's it. And this fan base is just hilarious. We're like, we need to be trench bullies, like Michigan. I'm like, do you know Jim Harbaugh had a good record when he took over, and he took over a program that was 4-8. You know, and everybody's like, oh, this program was bad. This program was predicted to win the ACC Coastal when Mario took over. So what happened between then and now? You know, everybody keeps saying we have a weak roster. Don't and next year, don't be amazed. And this is a question I keep telling Jordan: is this a rebuild or remodel? Next year is going to be a complete rebuild because we're going to have nothing but young people.
Yeah.
And Shad asked a question. So when do we expect the turnaround? I gave a calculation. Well, we have one more Manny player on this roster, right? So we have to clear that part out. Then we have to take another 4 years to clear that out. So that's we're at 8 years now. And if we join a new conference, that's another 4 years. So this turnaround might take 12 years in order to see its true colors. Right. This is the excuses that are already. I'm building in the excuse for the fans already. So we already know what
Hey,
to
Q,
look
Q,
for in the
Q,
future. This
Q.
chat here on this program is a nice guy. The chat on Twitter, that's a rebel over there. This
He,
chat
he,
over there is
he,
a
he- he's trying he's trying to be politically correct on his channel
Cuban,
so he doesn't lose
Cuban,
it. That's the
yes.
difference.
Cuban. Right now,
Shoot.
you cooking right now, but what's going on right now? You talking about it take all this time right now? No, I'm not falling for this. You know why? Because this is you right here.
What does that say?
Bald headed lie. You sitting up here talking about all these years. Bald headed lie. I'm not lying.
I mean, you told me the calculation there, Shad. I mean, I gave you a clear calculation, right? We have one more year of Manny, you know, because we have our left tackle's a Manny player. Who knows who else? You know, I don't know who else is left in there as a Manny player. So once
Oh,
we gotta
okay, okay, Q.
completely clear all that out, right? We gotta take what is it? We gotta take the poison out of the program, right? So we still have one more poison left. That's the excuse. I'm just giving you the excuses that are being built. So go ahead.
Okay. Y'all say I'm trying to be politically correct. I'm objective. I can argue both sides. I can argue both sides. That's what I do. I feel like that's one of my traits. I try to look at it from both sides. Like I say, yeah, I post certain stuff on Twitter, and I do, and that's why I said this is why I asked this question. This is why this is the thumbnail. This is why this is what this is. I asked the question, so we're gonna go around the room, and I'm gonna ask the question. What does Michigan winning the national championship have to do with the University of Miami? South Coast Canes.
Not a damn thing.
Cuban Cane.
Not a damn thing.
Anthony.
Bullshit. Nothing.
Okay then. So now that we cleared the air, um, this okay. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk tonight. 2019, we watched the LSU run and gun it up and down the field. I watched people within this fan base say, "Hey, look, that's what we need. That's why we need to get the South Florida athletes.
We wanted Joe Brady. Remember that?
We wanted Joe Brady. That's what we wanted." Mario was going to interview Joe Brady. So I'm trying to figure out how do we go from saying we need to run an offense that fits the skill set talent of the players in South Florida to talking about, oh well, we need to do what Michigan is doing. I'm gonna go around the room again. Try to get some organization here. South Coast Canes.
Dude, I would be honest. Miami needs to be Miami. Stop
Hold on,
trying
hold
to.
on, hold on, Jordan. What is that? What is when you say that? What do you mean by that?
To go
Well, it's Miami has to do what they think is right. In other words, don't try to be somebody else. Be whatever it is you want to be. I mean, Miami can only be Miami. And what I mean is even if you try to be like all these championship teams, Okay, you're still. I mean, you still got to be true to you, bro, and do. You know, I guess it's just as simple as whatever talent you have on the sideline, be it offense, defense, special teams, it should be utilized to the fullest potential to benefit the team. Now, you know, that's just how I feel. All these comparisons out here, that's all they keep talking about. But Miami can only be Miami, Michigan can only be Michigan, et cetera, et cetera. If that makes any sense.
Before anyone jumps in, when Al Golden wanted to turn Miami to a Big 12, Big 10 team, everybody had pushback. Nobody wanted that. But I guess, hey, but look, this is what they telling me now on Twitter though.
Oh, that was different.
That was different.
Perfect. It's funny because it's funny because if you think about because Jordan, you're a historian like I am. If Michigan would have played a true Miami team, they would have gotten blown out. We played the Oklahomas. We played against the Nebraskas that looked like that. What Jim Harbaugh did, he took his team and brought it back to what Michigan is, right? We are not trying to bring Miami to what Miami is. Miami was built on power, speed, aggressiveness, right? Now we want to have this ground and pound Midwestern football. I'm like, that's not going to work with South Florida. That's why we missed on Jeremiah Smith. That's why we keep missing on explosive players because we're not an explosive program anymore. We want to be, we're rough and tough and get beat up by Rutgers, right? It's like, well, what is this? This is that what I'm not understanding, and it's like, I'm giving Mario his years, right? I think every coach deserves their 4 years, but it seems like Mario is starting from beginning now when he should have done this when he first took the job, right? But going back to the question of what Shad said is we need to be Miami again. We need to we need to be explosive, physical, and aggressive, which we're not. We're not explosive. You can't tell me who's the fastest person. Like when we step on the field, we look extremely slow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Look at our running backs, look at our receivers, look at our tight ends. We look slow.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem I have.
Anthony?
Okay. I want to be the contrarian just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Please, that's what makes the shows that much better, as long as we're being respectful.
Okay. For me, I'm not saying I want to be purely like Michigan, but I want to follow, like, I'm basing on how Mario's been recruiting the past 2 years in the trenches, and that seems like the blueprint he's following is like the Alabamas and Georgias and Michigan. I'm basing on how Mario's recruiting the past 2 years in the trenches, Cuban. I'm not saying I want to be a carbon copy. I'm just basing it on how Mario's been recruiting the last 2 years when it comes to the trenches and stuff.
Well, yeah, you got to have the trenches, dude. You got to have an offensive line.
Yeah, and I want to let me say this. I want to mix that physical style with the explosive like spread offense, but I think those two styles of offenses are counterproductive to each other. Cuban, do you agree? Having a power running game, a beat you down type of offensive line with a spreading you out type of, like what Dawson is trying to do. Dawson is an air raid type of guy, and those offensive lines were more finesse. And I think the way Mario's recruiting is a little bit counterproductive on the scheme that a guy like Dawson came from in the air raid, which those offensive linemen are more finesse and a little bit more athletic. I'm not saying our offensive linemen are not athletic. It's just I think Mario's style of offense is counterproductive in a little bit counterintuitive when it comes to what Dawson wants to do, which is spread you out vertically and horizontally on the defense, and Mario wants to beat you down throughout the game. I think those two styles of offense are not really don't mesh well. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, if again, I'm going. I should not do this, but if you look at the historical Miami teams, right, they had the combination of both, right?
Exactly.
They had the combination of both. And one thing that what everybody does not understand, let's use Bama, Georgia, and Michigan, their local recruiting base is big boys, fat boys, big kids. That is not our natural recruiting base, right? So if you look at the Rutgers game, our two transfer players that came in, they left, and look how weak our line looked like. And that is because our backup, we have to go to Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, wherever, Georgia,
Texas.
Alabama, to get big guys. That is not our natural recruiting base. We could pick here and there, but where Miami was always successful and had the means was at the speed position, at the power, at the speed positions, at the aggressive positions, right? So it's like
Receiver, corner, safety, running
exactly.
back.
But if we try to match up, if we try to match up Oklahoma with their big guys, Michigan with the big guys, it's not going to work because their second and third string guys are going to have that fat and meat. We don't have that. We're not going to have that. No matter how much, we don't have enough NIL to have that type of depth, right? So if we keep trying to be like these Bamas and Georgias and Michigans, it's not going to happen because our first string might happen, but our second and third strings are not
We
going to
don't
be
have the
that way.
depth on the offensive line to do it, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly, and that's just historically. I'm not looking at Mario could recruit the starting five that could look that way, but then you got to look at the second and third string, and they're not going to look that way because we can't afford that money. But the second and third strings for Michigan and Bama are all big and hefty dudes because that's your local recruiting base. Does that make sense?
And Cuban, you brought up something that people ignore. Why in Florida? Why is it that we struggle, like, as a whole, Florida struggles developing elite offensive linemen? It's every once in a while that we have a number one offensive lineman in the country.
It's the
But
weather. It's the weather.
Yeah,
If you look at the weather,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
hot down here, and you just
Mhm.
constantly
well,
running
but you
outside
can
and
say
you're too
that with
skinny.
Texas, and they develop
Well,
elite offensive linemen.
well, most of your best linemen come from the Midwest, the big corn-fed white boys, dude. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's where your offensive
Yeah,
linemen come
no, yeah, I
from.
understand what you're saying, but
But yeah, I
we
mean, that's
use the
just
humidity as an excuse, not developing the talent at offensive line. But Texas has the same amount of humidity as us, and they're developing. They're the same.
maybe on
They're
the
in the
coast.
huh?
Okay,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
this what I'm gonna say about this, right? And I think that Coach Cristobal and Mirabel would do a good job. I think there was one thing that Al Golden did, a good thing that he did, was bringing back what was a great offense.
Kehoe.
He brought back Kehoe, right? And he was able to transition into somewhat of a spread offense during that particular tenure. Um, to continue the conversation that we're having, that's what I liked so much about LSU. LSU never looked like a big team. They never looked as big as Alabama, but they were athletic. They were fast. You knew they were fast. They played fast. Offensively, they didn't. They never could get the quarterback situation straightened out because I think if LSU could have gotten a quarterback situated, I think this dynamic of Alabama being the best team in the SEC, I think that switches over to the University.
LSU or Georgia.
I'm not even gonna say LSU. I mean, I'm gonna say Georgia. I'm gonna say LSU. I thought player for player, just based on personnel all the way around, I thought LSU was the best team back during Les Miles' time. I thought LSU was better than Georgia and Alabama. That's just my thought process because when you look at that team, to me, you looked at it and said, "Hey, that's what Miami should look like."
Like an LSU or a Texas or something like that.
I didn't want to say Texas because I didn't Texas guys are run, but I'm just saying LSU had that perfect mixture of we got good enough offensive line, we got great defensive line, we got linebacker. I mean, for crying out loud, Devin White, the middle linebacker for LSU, high school running back, goes to the combine, runs a verified 4.40. This is the type of stuff we're talking about at 240 pounds. People were infatuated with Michael Parsons, but I'm infatuated with Devin White. So that's the type of athlete that we need to get back in here. Now, like my guy put up here about the defensive line class, that's a great start. But the situation that we are faced with is, and wide receiver class is a great start. But we, like you said, Anthony, we got a conflict of interest going on right now. You didn't say conflict of interest, but you said this is not going to mesh. We have a conflict of interest. We just signed a great wide receiver class, and we also signed 2 running backs, and we signed a great offensive line class last year. So we're having a conflict of interest because wide receivers want to get the ball, and so do running backs. So, like Daryl said, we're going into year 3 without an identity. We're just recruiting guys, which you're putting talent on the field, but are you going to be able to use the talent effectively? And I don't see that. I don't know what, like, we're recruiting guys, but I don't know what we're recruiting towards. Because if you say this wide receiver class that we got, you would say, okay, well, Miami's going to run, Miami's going to throw the ball. But then when you look at it and you say, when you look at the season, if the head coach is starting to tuck tail because the quarterback throws an interception and you want to put the ball on the ground, then it's like, okay, what exactly are we doing right now?
Yeah, and I've said this is where.
Well, Anthony, let Cuban speak.
Yeah. Just I'm sorry, Anthony, to interrupt. The thing is, like, Miami, LSU, USC are all programs that are the same. To me, those are the best. Those 3 programs have had the best programs in the nation, right? The 2019 LSU, the Reggie Bush, USC, and the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. And none of those guys had these big barreling, guys that look like Bama, UGA, or Michigan, right? We have to go to the style of our state, and it's like if we try to copy what Bama, Georgia, and Michigan does, it's not going to work. And like what Shad was talking about, it's like we recruited 4 or 5 top 100 receivers,
Yes.
right? And it's like, but we want to be Michigan, and that's not going to work. So it's like, as a recruit, what's the message you're telling me? It's like, Coach, are you going to pass the ball? Are you going to run the ball? What's the message, right? And that's what I think is getting. And that's a great point that Shad brought up. Is like, what is the message that we're telling the recruits? We're going to be a power team, a run team. What is it? So that was a good question. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I would answer the question with this. Actually, I keep on hearing rumors. I'm not sure if I should trust it, that Mario is thinking of bringing a guy like Ken Dorsey in as an analyst to mix that shit, that type of what he wants to do.
Anthony, sorry, I got to interrupt you on that. We have to stop listening to these. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get here. We got to stop listening to these YouTube sensations. These Canes.
No, I'm not talking about YouTube.
No,
I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about like.
These rumors come from these people, these fake media people on Twitter, on YouTube that put out this fake stuff. One thing I know about Mario, there's nothing that gets out, right? He's not gonna let anything out. So when people say, "Oh, I know," stop listening to that. Don't listen to that. Don't let that even feed in your brain because it's BS. Jordan, right, said we were going to get a QB from up north, right? So Jordan, I could be an insider. I could give you rumors, right? I'm just giving you an advice. Do not listen to these people on Twitter, Canes Sport, Canes Spaces, Canes anything. Don't listen to them because you're just going to get messed up at the end of the day. Go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
But I was right. My sources were right. You never underestimate the power of the source.
Okay.
Yeah, but Cuban, what I was saying, I'm not getting this information from what is it called? From these YouTube people. I listen to the ACC network radio on like XM and stuff like that, and some of these people have connections within the Miami program, and they're saying that. Oh, Mark Richt actually said it on ACC Network. He's saying that they're looking to bring in a guy like a Frank Reich, not Frank Reich, of Joe Brady or a Ken Dorsey to be an analyst on the team to mix that type of offense that Mario wants to do with with the with the spread that Dawson is trying to run to modernize the offense. That's where I'm getting my information. I'm not getting it from the YouTube people.
Watch his trick, Anthony. Answer me his question. What is Mario salary? What's his salary and his length of salary? What is it?
Mark Richt or Mario?
Mario,
I think it's 10 years.
Nobody knows it, Anthony, because it's a private school. They're not allowed to provide that information. So none of us know that information. So what you're hearing and getting, it's from rumors and innuendos. It's like nobody knows this information. So you have to be careful when you listen to this stuff because Miami's a private university. If that gets out, they're in deep doo-doo. Nobody knows his salary. Nobody knows the OC's contract extension, none of that stuff. We don't know if he's going to be here for another 5 years or he's tied to Mario's contract. We don't know. So when I'm just saying, just be mindful of the stuff that you hear is because it's like it's narratives that's probably some agents or coaches that are pushing because nobody knows because it's a private university and they're not allowed to give this information.
Yeah, no, because I trust. The reason why I trusted Mark Richt just a little bit because he has connections within the university and stuff like that. Still Cuban. That's why I kind of trusted Mark Richt a little bit because he coached at the school and he still has connections within the athletic program and stuff like that. That's why I trusted Mark Richt a little bit and stuff like that. You understand why I believed what Mark Richt was saying because of the fact of his connections within the program still?
Yeah. I mean, we understand what you're saying, Anthony. But South Coast, what you were saying though?
Well, I was going to say I've talked about this at length, dude. I mean, it's like don't believe the hype. You got people out there that are just trying to get a click, trying to get a view. They're trying. It's like I think there's people that sit in a room and come up with all this hype and everything. It's just sometimes you just have to just kind of take it all with a grain of salt because there is one guy on YouTube. I'm not going to mention his name out of respect, but this dude or person, excuse me, has been stirring more shit than a friggin' porta potty cleaner. I mean, it's like.
Oh, you give me that name, George. You give me his name. I'll say it. I'm not scared of these people out here.
No,
I ain't gonna do that.
I just say South Coast.
Look, boy, said his heart jumped out. You can see his heart jump out.
It's not. I will say this. Well,
they're gonna say Shad said this about this person, and y'all gonna have me go clip up a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube and meme this person to death.
I'm joking.
I'll tell you right now. Well, it's not me. It's not Shad. It's not Coach Hayes. I will say that. Nobody in the room.
South Coast. So you saying these?
I fall on the ground, right? And I look up and Dr. Martin Luther King. I said, Dr. King. He said, oops, I thought you were somebody else. Oh man, you lying. You ain't never met Martin Luther King. Knocked the wind out of me. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Yes, he did. No, he did not.
That's why I started this source thing, dude. It's kind of like me extending both middle fingers in the air. But you just got to be careful, dude.
And for you guys, you have been burnt by the. I'm still trusting of the media, the sports media, national media, and like the ACC network. You guys have been jaded. You're older than me, and you have been jaded by the media so much. I'm still trustworthy. Can you understand?
No. Just use common sense, dude. Common sense.
Anthony. Anthony. This what I'm gonna say about this, because these people told us, and I'm not just saying, and I'm not pinpointing one person. I'm just saying these people told us that Jalen Harrell was gonna do all these amazing things this year. They told us Devontae Brown was going to do all these amazing things this year. They said all these people are going to do all these amazing things this year. None of it came to fruition. Some of these people even told me Tate Martell was going to take us to a national championship. This is what some of these people say. So these are things that just happened within the last 4 or 5 years. We ain't got to go back to 2005 and 2006. We can go back to 2019, 2018. But I will let my
Chad, what
dog
do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people? Them folks. Hey, but my dog QB here. Let's
Young,
let's
young
what's
folks.
up? QB,
Let's let
what's up?
QB get something in.
What's up?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, QB.
Man, we doing
Alright.
QB. We doing fantastic. We just won a national championship yesterday.
The mythical national championship?
No, it was real. It was real. I saw Jim Harbaugh with the buffs on and everything. We amazing blue right now. We just won a national championship. UM, that don't mean Michigan. That don't mean Miami. It just means UM.
Now that's the Twitter chat I know.
Because like you and Cuban have seen on Twitter, apparently they have made this about Mario Cristobal. And maybe Mario Cristobal is Connor Stallions. I don't know. But I'm waiting for us to hang the banner. Waiting for us to hang the banner.
Man.
And apparently we just beat Ohio State 3 years in a row too. So, Anyway, with that being said, the QB, what's up, dog? What's good? How do you feel about us going into year 3 of 9?
I thought it was 12.
12. It's 12.
You got an
Remember, I
extension?
gave you the math. It's 12.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's your show, Shaq. Go ahead.
I'm not. Hey,
I'll
I gotta change the background picture. I gotta put Charles Wilson back there now. Take Willis now.
I'll say
What's up, though, dog?
I'll say this. I just don't like comparison of coaches because all these coaches are different in their own way. Like, what is that? Stark is his own different coach. Saban is his own coach. Kirby Smart is his own coach. Like, I'm not comparing Mario to any of the coaches. The only coach I will compare Mario to is Manny Diaz because that's the one who he replaced. And his job is to do better than what Manny did before. That's it.
Great point.
You're right.
But QB, you know why they compare Mario to Saban and Smart? Because he came from that same coaching staff. That's why they do that.
Okay, I agree with you on that. But here's the thing, though. We can't compare when it fits a narrative. If we're going to compare Saban and compare him to, Jim Harbaugh and all these other coaches, then we better go the whole way. Saban won 12 games in his second year. Harbaugh won 10 games in his first year. So we can't just look at the nice things and say, oh, yeah, it reminds you of Saban. But also the other things with Saban or Harbaugh or Butch Davis, we try to ignore it.
Mario's looking more like Scott Frost than Nick Saban.
Dennis in here. Dennis don't like no Mario.
And here's the thing. No one's asking for Mario to be fired. I hate when people take that extreme. We're just sitting here saying that this guy's making double the money Manny or any other coach before. He's getting more resources. Therefore, the expectation, like, you're getting paid close to Nick Saban money if you really want to do a comparison. Like, you're not getting paid $8 to $10 million to be a 500 team. You're getting paid to do that. Now, granted, will every coach, have Saban success? No. But if you're going to get paid that way, then those expectations are going to come that way.
Yeah, and this is what I hate about our fan base QB too. They forget when Saban took over Bama, that was a rebuilding team, wasn't it? Wouldn't you? When Saban took that team over, wasn't it rebuilding? Because in the 90s, Bama wasn't really that good.
No, he took over. No, Shula had that. He had it almost going. He was 1 year away from really turning it around. Shula had it pretty good. Not where it is at right now, but Don Shula's son had that pretty rolling nice. It's just
Mike was Bama's coach before. I thought it was I thought it was Gene Stallings that.
No, you
took over.
Stallings was gone long.
No, yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay, I mistaken. I I screwed up
They
the
had
timeline a little bit.
they had those scholarship reductions and stuff under Mike Shula. Yeah.
But they were still okay. Like he
Yo,
took
yeah, yeah,
over
yeah,
a
yeah,
6-6.
yeah,
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 he
yeah.
took over
No,
a 6-6 team.
I would come see. This is where I would compare what Mario has to deal with right now with not with what Saban dealt with, but with Mike Shula's. He still has residual effects from the scholarship reductions actually. So so let's be honest. I compare him more to the Shula era than to Saban.
But
Like
but
in
but
terms of the situation.
Anthony, this the thing right here. We like QB. I agree with what you said, but at the end of the day, we should just compare Mario to Mario. Mario was
It's
hired.
hard not to do what fans do, though. Like we take it to the extreme. It's fanatic. Fan is short for fanatic, and fans take it to the extreme to where we have to do something crazy like that.
But I think that's a finite number of fans, though. I think the majority of the fans are just like the five of us that's on here, and everyone that's participating in the chat. I think most of us are just disappointed
Yeah.
that we're 12 and 13. And all we get to hear people talk about in defense is, hey, well, we got a top 5 recruiting class. Oh, he won a Rose Bowl. Oh, he went up to the shoe and beat Ohio State. Okay, all of those things are fine. All those things are great, but those things are not changing what's going on the bottom line. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about some fans is that when you are looking into the future, when you're hoping about things, you escape from reality. I noticed that. I was going back and forth with a guy today on the message board. He continued to talk to me about the future, the future, the future. And I said, bro, I don't want to talk about the future. Let's talk about right now.
Yes.
And I told him straight up, I said, the main, especially right now, I don't follow recruiting. I said, but the main reason I don't care about recruiting right now is because who says Justin Scott is going to be on this roster? And I'm not trying to forecast him leaving. Who says Justin Scott's going to be on this roster in 2026? Who says that? Who knows that? Who knows that Ruben Bain is going to be on here 2025? Nobody knows these particular things. So let's just talk about what's going
We're
on.
assuming.
Right? Yeah, you are assuming. And when you assume like that, you escape from reality and you can sit there and you can create whatever narrative in your mind that you want. Just like the narrative of Mario's players versus Manny players. When at the end of the day, once you assume that head coaching position, those are your players, especially if you did not take proactive measures to tell them, hey, look, thanks, but no thanks. But like I said, we shouldn't be we all a little tense right now, but we should be happy. Where are the balloons? Where is the celebratory cake? We just want a national.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Internet monster.
There you go. There you
Internet
go.
monster got you there, Shaw. Internet monster got you there.
You don't cut you off.
And for,
I had a
and for
phone call. I had a phone call. But no, we just won a national championship.
yeah,
But
yeah, no, and for this is coming. I base it. I'm criticizing Mario because I base it on his track record. Like even at Oregon, I don't know what it is with Mario specifically. He should have improved on this. This in-game management is still an issue with him, even here in Miami and stuff like that. Like I like Mario. He's a good recruiter, but his in-game choices are horrendous. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, but that's going to happen. That's something that we all have to accept, right? That's not every coach is perfect, right?
I don't
That.
want him to be perfect, but at least don't make the same mistake
Well,
twice,
it's gonna.
more than once.
You can't. What is it? You can't change the straps on the zebra, right? You can't do nothing about that, right? The only thing you can do is just face it and be better about that.
Yeah.
It's I just get tired of like, oh, look what he did at Oregon. Look what Rick did at Georgia. I don't care what you did at whatever school. I care what you do at Miami because Miami's a completely different program. You
Yep.
cannot treat Miami the same way as you treated Oregon because when you're in Oregon, you have no media, nobody cares about you. You don't have they have a big fan base, but it's not a fanatical type of fan base, right? So it's like he's left alone. Nobody's bothering him. He could tell the media whatever he wants. He could do whatever he wants. But when you come down here to the South, to the SEC, ACC country, This is football country. You're gonna get criticized for everything. So it's like you know, what Manny, Rick, whatever. It's like you cannot try to do based off your history. You have to take on the job as it is. Somewhat like when Jimmy Johnson did. When he came from Oklahoma State to Miami, he left that Oklahoma State behind and he said, "This is Miami. I'm going to build this program around what Miami is. I don't care if we blow a team out. I don't care about other people's emotions because at the end of the day, they're going to hate. They're going to hate these black boys on our team. So you know what? If they're going to hate these little black boys, let's just go ahead and beat everybody, and let's win, right? But we are too nice and sensitive, and no, what Miami is a bunch of a-holes, right? And it's like once a coach adapts that mentality, we're going to be good. And Mario started to get a little bit when he saw the referee screwing us over a little bit, right? He was like, he told the referees, all right, F you, right? And it's like, he's getting it little by little, but we have to accept his flaws. Butch Davis had the same type of time management flaws. It's just, you just got to coach better. That's all you have to do, Anthony. Is that
No, and I've said this on Twitter, and I know this sounds crazy. I like Mario, but his great trait is his elite recruiting. And I got attacked on Twitter for this, Shad. I said let's move Mario to the recruiting department and hire a guy who's better at game day in game.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I saw that tweet.
That's all that too.
I saw that.
I would not do that, but that's
No, but you understand where I'm coming from. If this is going to continue to happen with Mario and stuff like that,
do we really know that though?
Exactly. That's an assumption. We don't.
I mean, no, I'm not. We're not. I'm not piling on you, Anthony. And I completely understand where you're coming from. But one thing I learned many whiles ago, is you just have to, accept things for what they are and hope they get better. But yeah, you can't be worried about tomorrow. You
guys seen I wasn't even born when the hurricane. Like, I was too young to remember the 2001. I was like, in sixth or not sixth grade. I was in like first or second grade. So when I'm in my 30s. I was born in the late 90s and stuff like that. So
all these young bucks out here.
So to me,
anyway.
I don't. I can't live off what you guys experience. I've dealt with the mediocrity, and I'm already losing my patience. That's what it is. You guys seen the success. I haven't.
Anthony, me and you in the same boat. I didn't start watching college football until 2002.
Oh wait, I thought you watched the Hurricanes win those the champions in the 80s.
I feel bad for you kids.
No,
I know, right? You missed a whole bunch of fun.
No, but you know what though? The thing about it is that the way that I was able to manage through it and cope through it is the fact that you see some of those great players go off to the NFL and play great. So you can say, okay, well, yeah, they were good. So because you saw them excelling in the NFL, at least that was my thought process. But I want to address this question here. You guys can answer it if you want to, but this is my thing. I don't want to get into these type of answering these type of questions because it's biased. I have a bias. Cuban and other people, we may have a bias to Lane Kiffin.
Hey, don't speak about me, y'all. Who says I got a bias? You can't speak to me.
hey, we may have a bias to Lane Kiffin, right? But that shouldn't take away, because at this particular point, we're not getting Lane Kiffin. We're not gonna get whoever someone else may have an affinity to. So the best way I can answer this question, like I said, if you guys don't want to answer it, you can't. You don't have to. Who can we trust more than Mario about Miami? I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know.
My answer is anybody. It doesn't have to be Mario. That's from that's the problem that I have with this program. It has to be somebody from Miami. The people that won national championships in this program were not from Miami. Butch Davis, Erickson,
Jimmy Johnson.
Dennis
they're
Erickson.
not. Yeah, they're not from Miami, so they don't have to be from Miami. It could be Gundy from Oklahoma State, right? That has no ties to Miami. We don't know. The only thing I know is just they just have to understand what Miami
Yes.
is. That's
Yes.
it.
Exactly.
See that's
Exactly.
what I don't get. What is it? What's our fixation as a fan base that we need a guy who played at Miami or who knows like who grew up in Miami to recruit this type of talent?
It's
Saban's not
called
from the area, and he steals the majority of the prospects. Uh, him and Kirby are taking prospects away from Miami, and they're not from this. They're from Georgia or out Texas or something like that up north. And this is why I don't get what's the fixation with our fan bases that our coach has to be a Miami alum or someone who knows this area.
because
It's
Anthony,
all
one,
right
one
here.
second. No, it's not
It's
that.
all
No,
right
Jordan.
there.
It's because, like I've said before, it's what the media puts out there. It's not in the head. It's that's how people get to. It's what the media puts. I'm not gonna name the media because I don't want Chad to come over and beat me up. But it's it's the media that pushes that
And
narrative. So
yeah,
you have
and
to be mindful and careful of what you hear because that's how it starts.
that's what messes everybody's minds up. There's no discernment.
Okay. QB, like I said, you just joined. You didn't give what matter of fact, you and Cuban both just joined. You guys didn't give us your thoughts on the what do you call him? South Coast? What's our new quarterback name?
HR
Poffenberger.
puffing stuff, or
Okay.
was it pop that burger, pop that burger, baby, pop? Okay.
The question I'm gonna ask is, do because again, and Cuban, like you said, you might jump on me for this, but sources say he was just brought in for insurance. But what do you guys think? And also, in those same people said we're not finished looking for a quarterback. So,
That's, I mean, that it should be a every. So this is where Mario messed up. Every position should be a competition. He allowed one player to run his program. He did not allow competition at the QB spot. So as long as it's open competition, I'm down for it. Nothing in this program, no number, no nothing, no should be given, right? So if even if Cam Ward came in, right, if it was an open competition, I'm all for it. I'm done with giving players a position, right? We tried that with TVD. It did not work. He held the program hostage, right? So it could be quarterback from North Dakota that I've never seen tape of, right? But he could come in and compete. So as long as there's an open competition and the best man wins, I'm all for it.
Um, I mean, if we're gonna say we're bringing him in for depth, then how far down the line he is? Like, is he second string or is he third string or is he fourth string? Because my thing is this: that's important. Let's say he is second string behind Curry, and he has 2 more years left. What does that say about Emory? If Emory's third string by spring, he might go. Like, I think we have to be careful about the whole competition thing because one, it can take away from reps from the guys, and two, we also have to be realistic as how many QBs we're going to have in the fall. Like, I think it's kind of important. Like, if Cam Ward would have came in, I think there would have been an idea if he would have been the starter. Like, I mean, the whole competition thing at QB is kind of wishy-washy now with the portal. But when you bring people in for competition, you also have to look at the years that they have left because somebody's going to leave. Like, you look at, I'm up here in Tallahassee, you look at Florida State, they only had 3 QBs last year. That was it. Like, they left because of the
Yeah,
competition.
Rodemaker
So
left.
I think you have to be real smart and have some type of system with a QB. Like, hey, this is your starter, this is your backup, and here's your true freshman that you're gonna groom. And once your starter plays well and leaves, then you get the next freshman. Because sooner or later you're gonna have to find some type of system to make this work.
Well,
Because
QB, let me interrupt you quick. I mean, I think there is a system right now. If you look at, so if we tell Emory's like, hey Emory, we stole your redshirt year, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna give you this redshirt year. You build and you get stronger and whatever, and we're gonna have whatever QB and JB playing, right? So it's for me, it's like I think where coaches are messing up is the plans for the players, right, and their years and when they're
okay, yeah.
projected to play, right? If a recruit or player comes in, I think coaches need to tell them, hey, this is the time that I expect you to play. This is your development period, right? I don't think coaches are doing that. I think coaches are going year by year, and that's how you're getting messed up. And now this is where I kind of give Michigan credit. Jim Harbaugh is doing that, right? You don't see any transfer recruits and things. He has a program for them, right? So it's like once you build a program, you're good to go. You got to be kind of stubborn and stick to the rules of your program. You're good. That stuff that's happening in Florida State, that's gonna bust, right? Recruits are gonna stop going to Florida State because it's like, oh, we could just keep taking in, transfer players, and eventually recruits are gonna be like, I'm not gonna go to Florida State because all we do is collect, transfer players. So, but you have to build a pipeline of players, and you got to give them the program. That's what it is at the end. It's a program. So once you
Right.
give a program, you're good to go. My bad for interrupting, QB.
Oh no, I mean, I think the pushback is that's a great idea, but at the end of the day, we still don't know how players will react to things. Like this year's Skinner, he transferred out. Some of Mario's guys transferred out, so it's kind of hard to predict in 2 years that these players are going to fit with the program, especially if something kind of mixes up. Let's say Judd comes in and he's the second best QB on the team behind Ja'Cory or behind Emory. How that impacts the other guys. Like something down the line is going to I do agree, like there has to be a plan, but if you shake it up like that, something can explode.
I want to address this comment. Galaxy King, I appreciate all your comments, bro. I really do. Or sis or person, I don't want to misgender you. But he says in no way in today's football that every position up for competition. And what I'll say to that, I remember, I don't know what the name of the show was, but I used to listen to it. I think it used to come on Wednesdays during the season. I think they was part of the Kane Insight guys, but they would have Brandon Merriweather on Wednesday. And Brandon Merriweather used to say that Randy Shannon would do things like put him, now he's first team All-American, best, probably the best safety to come out of Miami, and I'm not gonna say the last great safety to come out of Miami, very good safety. And he said he would put him on third string just to make sure that he didn't get the big head. That's what he would do. He would say, "Look, hey, you running with the threes today, and you better not slack off." So it's not so much about, as you say, Galaxy, and like you said, Cam wasn't competing with anyone, and you said the tailback that's coming in, no, he's behind Fletcher. Okay, but you don't want them to have that mindset, because once they establish that mindset, you get what transpired at Rutgers. And what transpired at Rutgers, then you also have people in the fan base that say, well, hey, look, we were missing all these guys. We weren't supposed to win and all this stuff like this. And that's what breeds, contentment, right? So it's not so much about saying that, oh well, Kim, you're in trouble losing your job. It's about making sure that you're staying sharp. And let's see what a young guy does if he's getting all the first string reps this particular week. Because all it takes is one injury. And like I said, I'm so happy that in 2021, when Gervin Hall and Bubba Bolden went down, that it did not look like we missed a beat when James Williams and Cam Kitchens came in the game. However, when we went to Rutgers, not only was there a beat missing, the whole dog like the whole song stopped.
Yeah, the whole drum was gone.
The whole song just stopped. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we mean, Galaxy. And then Penn. I mean, you make some good points, Galaxy, but at some point, the head coach, all these boosters involved, they have to respect the head coach enough to say, "Hey, look, I asked for these funds to get these players, but now let me use them the way that I want to use them."
Well, since we won the championship last year, there ain't no boosters involved in Michigan, right? We won it last year. Name of the boosters that involved in Michigan. Jim Harbaugh don't allow us to.
Cuban, that's why I'm glad you're here, man. I'm up here talking about the University of Miami, man.
You win. You know what I'm saying? You won. We won yesterday.
We
So
won.
at UM, we don't allow boosters to come up in here and
We
dictate
don't.
what we do.
We don't. Our head coach can go interview for an NFL job on the day of National Signing Day.
Damn.
Well, the Falcons got a position open.
Raiders got a position open.
Hey man.
Chargers got a position open. Titans got a position open. New
Hey,
England got
but
a position open.
hey, but what do you got? But what do you guys think about what Galaxy is saying in that particular sense? In terms of, I mean, realistically, yes, every position is not up for grabs, but you have to keep those guys on their toes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want any complacency setting in. It just kind of keeps the dogs hungry, if you will. You know, because nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. But I mean, it just I like it. Because if you base it on competition, that's the fairest way.
Well,
And
this,
plus,
yeah, this is my thing. I mean, this is why I get mixed message. Is Mario a tough, stern coach, or is he a loosey goosey coach? Like, man, it's like if
right,
he's a tough, stern coach, we should not have all this loosey goosey going on in the program. It's like
right,
this is
right.
it, right? So this is where I'm kind of confused at, right? It's like what is it? Is he a Manning? Is he Manning 2.0? Is he
Yeah,
rough ball Mario Cristobal? That's what I'm not understanding.
I think there's competition at certain positions where there's multiple people. Let's say D
right.
line, you got four
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
You'll probably have competition there, or running back,
Hmm.
or receiver. But
Well, hold on, QB. What position in our team is there? There's competition because I can't name. I mean, I
running
can't
back,
name any. I think that was all based off injuries. It wasn't based off competition.
so when Mark Fletcher started, you think he got that over injuries because of Henry Parrish?
Henry Parrish, Cheney, and Allen.
Yeah,
Remember that they were all banged up at once upon a
yeah,
time.
yeah. But all of them started over other guys because remember, I think against was it Virginia? I think Allen started that game and Fletcher finished it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but what Cheney and Paris were hurt, right? So this is the whole point. If you look at the
Oh,
season, if you look at the beginning of this, if we really look at it, the two starting running backs should have been Allen and what's buddy from the
Cheney,
running back, huh? Not Cheney, the other guy, you just said
Trevonta,
his, huh?
Citizen Kane,
No, not Citizen.
Chris
Parrish.
Johnson, Parrish, Allen.
What's the other one?
The top four
let-
was Parrish, Cheney, Allen, and Fletcher.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
should have been Fletcher and Allen. Those should have been the
yeah,
two starting running backs, right? And Cheney and Parrish should have been the third and fourth starting back, running backs. But
right.
we were not allowed to have any. You could tell there was no competition. It was like, all right, the two vets to go in and play. Same goes for quarterbacks. Same goes for receivers, offensive line, D line, linebackers, safeties, and quarterbacks. There was really nobody in there to compete with because I don't think there was competition was not allowed. Like there was
Mhm.
really no position change if you look at throughout the whole starting lineup.
I-
True.
uh,
Mm.
the
But
running
but
back
then
rotation.
you want to make sure that your depth doesn't drop off like we seen what Chad was talking about too. So I guess it's just trying to keep it fired on all cylinders, I guess.
The running back rotation this year again. I said that it made absolutely no sense.
No.
Um, Henry Parrish fumbles the ball in North Carolina. He doesn't play the very next week. Don Chaney fumbles, but doesn't really have a fumble. He doesn't play the very next week. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't understand that to where it's like to me it almost got to a point to where it's like they told Mark Fletcher, "Hey, look, you're the starter. Just get here." And I'm not taking anything away from Mark Fletcher because Mark Fletcher performed, good, but that's just the sense that I got. It's like, okay, Mark Fletcher is he and AJ and obviously AJ Allen had a game against what Clemson, I believe. But for the most part, it's just like Mark Fletcher, you're the starter, and everybody else, y'all fight over the rest of these carries. Which is, I asked the question on South Coast. No, I didn't. I asked this question on Canesville, or I made this statement. I said, "Oh, we don't even know what's going to happen with Chris Johnson next year.
Right.
Yep.
What does he even fit?
Same.
What does he even fit in this equation?
again, we recruited a player that fits another system, but we're running a complete opposite system, right? It's what is the position? Where is this program going? What are we going to be Michigan? Or are we going to be a LSU? Are we going to what man? What is it, right? And it's like you can't have you can't do both.
It's like we got schizophrenia. You don't know what personality you're going to get.
I don't know. QB, what do you think? What's going to happen with Chris Johnson moving forward?
Is Parrish coming back?
Yes, Parrish said he's coming back.
Because remember, we got 2 more running backs coming in.
Exactly.
Is it 2 or 3? I thought it was 3. It's 2. Yes, 2. It's 2.
2 so far, and we might get one in the portal. That's what I heard.
We would have had 3, but the other guy, he ended up choosing to stay in Alabama. So yeah, it would have been 3. Because they was looking to flip Lyle even with the other guy committed.
Oh, I thought he flipped Lyle because what's his name was probably going to flip to Alabama because there were rumors about that.
Well, it looked like they were working on him, unless they had some intel. Like I said, the back end information. But like I say, Chris Johnson and like you said, Cuban, fast team. We don't look fast. Chris Johnson, fast player on the team, but yet it doesn't look like he's. What role is he going to have? Jaden, matter of fact, before Chris Johnson got, Jaden Harris was what I saw. Jaden Harris was the fastest person on this entire team before Chris Johnson got here. And
I have a question.
Actually, it was JB.
I have a question.
Well, both of them fast.
Okay. Are we not a fast team, or we don't play fast?
We don't look fast. We don't look. I don't like. You know what? I'm glad you asked this question, QB, because like I said, I watch a lot of football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if all y'all can attest to this, but it's just certain teams. I don't know if it's the camera. I don't know if it's the field that they're on, but I look at Texas. I know AD Mitchell and Worthy are fast, but everyone else looks fast. Mm-hmm. I watched Oregon this year. They look fast. We, like all the ACC teams to me, look slow.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we get in this stupid huddle that I have no idea why we do this, right? So every time that we huddle up, we get out of it slow, and it's just like it's this huddle thing. That's one major problem I have with this offense. Like, why are we huddling up? We're milking this clock. And yeah, I mean, you got a point there, Shaq. We just look slow, and methodical.
I was thinking about that the other day. It's like to echo what Shad said. I mean, you see other teams throughout these past seasons, this season, etc., and then you see Miami play. It's like, your first thought is, okay, why can't Miami be as good as? But then I think about it, I'm like, we just look slow. It's like we're running in syrup, and we're not. Miami's not slow, okay, but yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's crazy how that is.
Yeah, Galaxy King, we're not. You're right. We are pushing for that, but the confusion in it is, okay, you in today's terms, you're recruiting to a certain style. You either recruiting to we're going to run the ball, or you're going to recruit to we're throwing the ball. But we are recruiting both, and one of them are not going to be able to get fed. You can't feed Chance. You can't feed those 4 receivers plus everybody else we got, and then expect to feed 6 or 7 running backs. It doesn't work like that. One position group is going to start to say, hey, look, you know what? This is not the place for me.
Well, just jumping off back on that, Chad, are we a power running team, or we're a finesse running team? I mean, because like you said, we get Chris Johnson that is a speedster, but then we have Fletcher that's a power back, right? And it's like, what type of running style? We're going to be a speed running team or power? What is it, right? There is not a definition of what this team is.
I don't know. QB may have an answer. QB, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I think what we want is a power running team, But if there's talent out there, we'll just go out there and recruit it, and hopefully they'll fit in this power running team.
And QB, that's the problem right now. In 2023 and moving forward, you just cannot hoard talent on the team.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up because it's a smooth transition. Because now I said this on the message board. I told someone, I said, hey, look, y'all guys are talking about the future as if the University of Miami is the lone sole school who is not going to be a victim of guys leaving the school. We're not gonna have any guys enter the transfer portal. Like we're going to be immune to it. Where everyone else, Alabama, Texas, all them, they're gonna have guys leaving, but no, Mario's going to be able to just hoard all this talent. You can't do that anymore. If this was 2009, 2010, Chris Johnson, you just don't play, but you stuck here for 3 years.
I have to correct you, Shaq. We just did that at Michigan.
I forgot about the super seniors. How could I forget about Blake Corum coming back? I love Blake Corum. I love my running back.
So, all right. So I have another question. What are we doing at cornerback? Are we
What are we?
a tall quarterback room, a small corner? What's so? This is,
I don't know.
I think we're just recruiting just to recruit. We're not recruiting to
Exactly.
to a purpose, right? It's like even our safeties. Number 15 back there is a skinny dude, right? And then we got a big guy, the number 21 out there, right? It's like, what's the what's the design? What's the program? It's not defined here.
Galaxy, I love these comments. Galaxy, we know what UGA's identity is. UGA is a running team. James Cook was a elite. Well, I'm not gonna say he was elite because his brother was elite. James Cook was a very good running back. Kenny McIntosh. They had Zeus, he plays for my Raiders right now. They've gotten some receivers. George Pickens. The Saint, whatever the young man name is, I think came out of Aquinas. UGA is not loading up on elite receivers, but UGA is against running backs. And
they all look the same. That's what we're trying to say. They all look the same.
Yes, Ken McIntosh and the guy Milton this year. Yeah, they all even Swift looked a certain way. Yeah, they all looked the way. So it's
Sony they all look the same.
Yeah. It's easy to look at UGA and say, okay, this is what UGA does. UGA has a certain body type that they're getting. They're big, they're fast. Okay, we can see that. Alabama the same way. But you're right, they're all different backs, but they all look the same. We got like you said, we got two backs that are gonna be 220 pounds, and I don't even know if Chris Johnson is a $180.
Yeah, Chris Johnson's a speedster. Hellcat is a speedster. Then we got the big running back in Fletcher. Who else is the other pounding running back we got? I think it's only Fletcher, right? So it's like we got the workhorse, but everybody else is like a mixture.
And Henry Parrish is just a football player. AJ Allen is I guess he would be a scat back or whatever those particular terms is. But like I said, it doesn't. Galaxy, I see what you're saying, but using UGA as an example is a poor example.
The thing is with me is I have no problem recruiting different types of running backs. The issue is, are you utilizing their skill set the best way possible? Like, why don't we use Allen in screen passers or something like that, or use him off tackle? It's like, why is he running the same plays as Mark Fletcher?
I told you, QB, we have a play caller that has a sheet of plays, and we call those plays. He's not coordinating anything. He's gonna call the plays. Again, and not to just fire holes into Dawson Pauls. Red actually did the same thing by running Rooster up on dives. So it's not like we haven't seen this before, but at least he would run Rooster up the middle, but then he say, look, here, Rooster, here go a swing pass, or here go a screen pass. You know what I'm saying? We at least
who's the OC? Because if we look at Oregon, this offense look mighty similar to Oregon, and who's the real My opinion, and I want him out of the program. And I went viral for this on Twitter. It's Mirabal. Mirabal, I think, is a real OC. Right?
Whoa.
Let's ask. I'm asking this question though. Does he have an assistant? What is he? He's the assistant head coach.
He's assistant head coach.
Well then,
Yeah, I think he's the real OC.
you know, hey QB and Cuban, you saw this in South Coast. I don't know if he was on Twitter just yet, but remember the whole we didn't take a knee. Who did they say told Dawson you should take a knee right here?
Mirabal. Yeah, I think he's the real OC. Right? It just looks the same.
OC as in calling plays, or OC as in this is the scheme we're running?
Oh, good one. OC during the practice, telling this is what we're going to run, and then in the games, Dawson is just he's just calling the plays out.
Hey,
so you don't think Mario's in it?
I mean, you just following the trail, right? Who's his homeboy? That's why.
I'm gonna tell you guys what's funny to me though. It looked like Lance Gillies was having the time of his life the entire last year.
Yep.
Shannon Dawson lost his smile
quickly
after the bye week.
Yeah,
he lost because he had two people next to him the whole time, right? He had Mario and Mirabal next to him, right? And Gridgy just out there hanging out, having fun.
Hey, let me put the disclaimer. I'm sorry, South Coast. Let me put the disclaimer. These are not the thoughts and opinions that 1419. These are the thoughts and opinions of Cuban Kane, as well as South Coast Kane. I repeat again, these are not the thoughts and opinions of Chad.
My thoughts. You damn right. These are my thoughts.
Hey, if you want Shad thoughts, go on Twitter. He's a lot more of a menace there.
Shad is faking here. He doesn't want to put his name to his face. He doesn't want to put profile to video. That's what he don't want to do.
Right? He don't want to take ownership.
Hey, listen, Cuban.
Kind of like Mario.
Cuban, yeah. Oh, wow. Hey, that's what it's. Okay. Good job, Jordan. Damn.
Hey, Cuban, listen. Somebody literally told me on Twitter, you a Groove's burner account. This is
Groove stuff. Yeah.
I said
no one is to the extreme of Groove.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
I mean, that's when you say anything that's anti-Mario, you're automatically your Groove's burner account. I'm like, man, come on, bring a better debate to that, man. It's like we passed this already, you know.
He told me I was Groove burner account, man. That's crazy. Hey, but now though, like I said, I'm really, really interested. But I'm gonna ask this question. Let's go around. So, South Coast, what do you think? I'm again this question for all y'all. How do you think Chris Johnson fits into what we're doing offensively next year? With let me say this, with a Ray Joseph and a Robbie Washington and a Chance Robinson coming in.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't know unless there's like a special play for third and I don't know. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna stay at running back and be the quick pitch, hit it and go, or if they're gonna try to move him to another position, maybe a return man. I really don't know.
In South Coast, and that's what's sad about that.
I know
what we're gonna do with the fastest player on our team.
Exactly.
Well, you could kiss that dream goodbye after last night when we won the championship. Mario was so excited watching that game. He's like, I know this system works. So we are gonna run. This is what we're gonna. He might go ahead and say, Dawson, you're gone. I'm gonna hire the OC from Maryland. I don't know who that is, but the OC from Maryland used to be the OC at Michigan. And there was a leap year he had in his resume, and he's going to try to bring back that OC that coaching at Maryland. I'm just saying, this is my rumor. These are rumors. Cuban Kane. This disclaimer: Cuban Kane is putting out a rumor that Miami's going to hire the OC from Maryland.
But they utilize the tight end at Maryland and Michigan and everywhere else.
What is
So
that?
what is that? Hold on, George. So let's go back to my little theory.
What?
So who is the offensive coordinator at Miami?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't doubt it.
I'll
I
say it is
mean,
Mirabal.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, you'd have to give him a high chair to see over everything, but still,
Not getting his arms
yeah.
and legs.
He can
But
get up on Mario's shoulders, big
but
buddy and little buddy.
but Shaq, going back to your
Question.
question, I don't think. Yeah, like I was joking, but I'm being serious. I think after last night, Mario saw that game. He's like, I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I'm gonna do this power running game. So I don't think Chris Johnson or Hellcat has a position on this team. We're not gonna run the ball outside. It's just gonna be straight through the middle, and big boy football. Let's go. We're not. So I don't think. I think Hellcat and Chris Johnson. I don't. I hate saying this. I hope I'm dead wrong, and you guys clown me later. But I think they will transfer.
QB, what do you think? QB, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think about Chris Johnson fitting into this offense?
He might be used the same way as Brashard Smith.
Oh, well, that means he's not going to be used.
He's not being used.
He's not. Hey, well, that's okay. That means Ray ain't going to be used either.
And you see where Bashard is at, transfer portal.
Galaxy, those are great comments. No, the success does not depend on CJ, but again, we heard about the electrifying speed. That's all we heard about. He's so fast. He's this. He's that. Long handoffs, bubble stretches. We don't do stretch. We don't do wide zone. We don't do any of these particular things. So, he was redshirted this year, which I don't understand redshirting running backs. I mean, I don't. But then I guess looking at the running back rotation, I guess it made sense to somebody, even though only one running back left. So I don't really know.
So the question is, why recruit running backs like Hellcat and Chris Johnson? What's the purpose?
I don't know. But you know what though, Cuban, I'm gonna say this. Travis Dye was small, and he ended up being the primary ball carrier after CJ Verdell went down. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but he was stocky. He wasn't a fast running back.
no, he wasn't. But I'm just trying to give you a reasoning for the body type. That's all I'm doing. But other than that, I don't see it. So I don't know.
Ellen may have a point to keep them from the opposition.
Well, I mean, you're not doing a good job if they can turn out the next year. Yeah.
That's a 90s type of viewpoint to keep them away from the competition.
Yeah.
Like I said, if this was 08, 09, 2000,
yep.
It's a fantastic theory because they can't leave without punishment. Right now they can leave, but like I said, I don't want anyone to feel like we are saying that he's going to leave or anyone like that's going to leave. But it does present an interesting point of emphasis that, hey, look, you have the fastest player, not just the fastest player in the state, one of the fastest players in the history of the state of Florida is on your roster, and I don't see anything for him to do.
So I got a question. I don't need a record prediction.
Oh Lord.
What does success look like next year?
What does success look like?
Yeah.
I'm a records guy, so but I'll say this though. I'm gonna be politically correct with my answer. Success to me next year looks like continuing to look better along the offensive line, progressing on what we were able to do in the front seven from last year, well, from this particular year, and more consistent quarterback play. Since you said I can't give a record, so that's success to me.
Jordan.
Well, cut the turnovers down. Cut back on all the mental mistakes. I don't want to say stupid mistakes, but Record wise, I would probably say I'm gonna right now. I'll probably say at least 9 wins. Oh, somebody done dropped their dish on that.
That was me.
I'm sorry. Did I mess you up on that one? Nah.
I
But-
think we need to have a top 30 defense
Yeah.
and probably a top 30 offense. Don't know if that's going to happen on the offensive side. Well, I mean, the offense is what, a top 40 offense now, right?
Hey, Shotty.
Yeah, Cuban, but you got to realize if you take away the TVD factor, you
It's a
know,
top 20 offense, right?
it really wasn't. It's just the turn. I think it was just the turnover. Well, first TVD was hurt, but still, yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna let QB answer that question. And
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, QB.
10 wins. As simple as that. Like, I don't want. Well, it looks nice. Like the offense was a little better, or the defense was a little better, and we still got 7 or 8 wins.
But
Like, what are we
hold on,
doing?
QB, 1 second. Is 10 wins realistic? Let's be honest. Is that a realistic? I know it's ideal, but is that a realistic number?
It's not about okay. We got to be careful now.
Yep.
Let's go back to 2021.
Very careful.
In the first 4 games, Manny Diaz lost a starting quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 starting OLs, and a starting safety, and no one cared.
I know.
All they wanted was the records. But now we got somebody who's supposed to be, the best guy to replace him, and we're like, well, we gotta build things. No, like if you replace that, I expect 10 wins by year 3. I expected 10 wins year 2.
Hold on. So year 1 of Mara, how many home games did we win?
We didn't win no home games.
We won 2. Bethune and
yeah.
Southern Miss.
Yeah,
Southern
yeah.
Miss.
Oh yeah.
Year 2, how many home games did we win?
Who do we play at home this year?
Let me see here.
Texas A&M, Bethune Cookman, Miami, Ohio.
We only left the state one game, and that was to go play. Was it? It wasn't. Who did we play? Who did we leave?
Temple.
Temple. Yeah, we went to go.
Yeah, we almost pulled the Florida Gators.
Yeah. So we
So last year we what? We won. Let me see, 3 home games.
we beat
We beat Virginia. They're about 4.
We beat Clemson at home. So
That's 4.
That was 5. That's probably 5 games.
Yeah, we won about 5 or 6 games at home.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4.
Wait a minute.
We only won 4 games.
We beat Miami, Ohio. We beat Texas A&M.
Right.
We beat
Clemson.
We beat Virginia.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, we
Virginia. Oh, that's right. We did beat. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
we beat Virginia.
Yeah. So 5.
Yeah, we
So the
did.
5 wins.
Okay. All right. My bad. Okay. So we did improve on the home games. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. So so one game improvement at home. That's what, 6 home games, right? Then we got 4 left on the road. So okay. I can see that now. That 10 wins is a realistic number. Now that you put it that way.
Like it's for me, it's not about being realistic. It is what is the direction the program is going. That's what I'm really looking for. It's not about because realistically, I can say if let's say our quarterback is on the roster, it's Jacuri or it's Reese or it's Emory. Realistically, I would say 7 to 8 wins. And I'm not going to hold them to that. I'm holding the coach according to what he's supposed to do.
That's so I have a question. What do you mean by direction? What does that mean? The direction of the program?
Because if he only wins 6 to 7 games this year, it's still on the same level as Manny.
We won 15 games this year.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot about it.
Finish what you said, QB. I just had to get that in.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just What is the direction? Like, if we're having the same results, then what are we doing? Because the thing is, I think sometimes as a fan base, we're so concerned of trying to look a certain way. Like, we're trying to look like like, as long as we look like that, or as long as we get these recruits. But the goal is to win the game. That's what it's about. Like, you look at Ryan Day. Ryan Day is winning games, but he's losing to Michigan.
Yeah, they stagnant.
He's on the hot seat.
They stagnant.
All right, I got a controversial question. Chad, don't get mad at me. You might get banned on this, on YouTube.
I'm just gonna cut you.
Give me three.
I'm just gonna kick you out.
Give me three coaches on this staff that you would replace. 2 to 3 coaches on this staff that you would replace. Everybody. This is a question for everybody.
I'm gonna let QB go first and y'all sit beside each other.
Dang, man, you put me on the spot. Replace? Here's the thing I will say.
South Coast South Coast said, I got about 5 for you.
No, no.
I will say this. I have no problem with our position coaches. I will say that.
Yeah.
Let me go first. I'll get rid of the O-line, tight end, and the tight ends coach ASAP.
Whoa. Oh.
Well, we're not using the tight ends anyway. They won't be missed.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I got my 3 are O-line, tight end, and strength coordinator.
One of them is very controversial. I'll say that.
Man.
It's funny you say that, Cuban, because this past season I've been kind of thinking about the mustache dude. I mean, have we really seen that much of a difference in our strength and conditioning? I'm not saying he's doing a bad. I'm just saying, have we really seen that much of an improvement, or have the improvements? Well, no, he's been here for 2 years, so there should be some fruit on the tree. You know what I mean?
The question is, are we faster? Are we stronger? I mean, we're not faster. We're not stronger because right now, Rutgers is one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. Just ran.
I think we're bigger. I'll say
how
that.
we're bigger. How we're bigger when Rutgers pretty much manhandle us.
I'm trying
because Rutgers is stronger.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And
NC State manhandled us.
Yeah.
NC State got like a $2 million DC.
South Coast.
What do we got? We got a $2 million DC too.
South Coast, you got 3 names.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you might as well go ahead and get rid of the tight end people.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say we may want to look at visiting the strength and conditioning dude, the mustache.
Gotta give us one more.
Fire Mario.
Oh wow.
I'm joking.
You took it there.
Position coaches, not head coach. You said position.
Yeah,
we're not trying to get Chad's channel banned out here.
It's too late. Too late.
I'm really kind of, I don't know. I'm just a stickler for the defensive back play, though. But it's getting better. Oh, shoot, man.
Would you replace him with DVD?
I would probably yeah. I like DVD. First, I had to stop and think. Did he just say TVD? No, DVD. It's been a while since I've heard that, so forgive me. Yeah, I mean, because I really think that the offensive line is really getting better. They're just young.
Hold on, I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Cuban got out of questions.
I got a question for Cuban King. Why would you say the OL coach?
Because
I
look at last year, right? I take last year very serious. Our O-line was this is what Mirabal said. If the O-line was the worst position in on the team, he'll chop his limbs off. The O-line was horrible. I look at because the way I look at it is as a coach, right? As a coach, if if you're a good coach, you can coach bad players, right? Quote unquote, we had bad players last year and our offensive line looked horrible. We needed an influx of a top recruit and no, a top transfer player from Bama and a top transfer center, right? In order for him to look good. And also, if you really think about it, the reason why the line looked better last year is because we were max protecting.
I was
We
just
had
about
an
to say
extra
that.
tight
Yeah.
end, we
Yeah.
had an extra running back, right? And it's like if you looked at the Rutgers game, we were getting our blank pushed in, right? So
Not
it's like I don't
Nephew
know how good he is.
not nephew.
Well, whose
nephew
fault
had
is
his
that?
skates on.
But whose fault is that?
Right.
Who coached him up?
I mean, nephew couldn't block all five.
But what happened to the other offensive linemen that we
Not
recruited?
get
I mean, this is why I'm confused at.
they
We
were
recruited all these offensive line. Where are they? That
Thank you.
a Rodriguez and a nephew started over all these players we recruited.
Right.
Right? So is it I mean if he's that great of a coach, why are these backup players not? And this is something that I was telling Anthony. This is the problem at Miami. We don't have that type of depth that we could just put in this corn fed guy that just big and bulky and just keeps going, right? So my thing, I don't think he's a good offensive line coach because he needs max protection and the top of the top players in order to look good. He only produced one good offensive lineman, and that's Sewell. And everybody's like, oh, he's a great offensive line coach because he produced a first rounder. Okay,
Yeah.
whoop de damn do. You want to cook it
Yeah.
for that? So I don't think he's a good offensive line coach. I hope that answers your question, QB.
Let me answer your question. Three coaches that I would have to say if I could replace them. I would go with obviously Coach Joe, a die, and like y'all said, the tight end coach. And Cuban, like you said, you and QB, that was something I did see. Cuban, when you said that, when you said about the max protection, and that was the whole thing when people were raving about Cam McCormick, and it was like, hey, he's gonna be just like an additional offensive lineman, and I didn't really put that into perspective until you
Right.
said that, and then I kind of started to think. I said, well, yeah, that probably did help. That probably did help. But you don't have a Javion Clinton this year. We do not have a Matt Lee this year, so it'll be interesting to see because I feel the offensive line is going to take a step back. Now, is it going to be a little step? Is it going to be a big step? So,
But I
but
mean, you still got Samson sitting there, pancake.
Hold
You
on,
know.
Shad. You never answered the
But
first question. Which coach you replace? Give me three coaches.
I did.
oh
I said
Who
a,
you said?
I
I
said
said
a
Joe.
Joe and the tight end coach.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Um, but I don't know. And then, like I said, getting back to what you said about QB, about you saying 10 wins is realistic next year. I think one of the things about it is, and I was gonna make a video about this a while ago, but I didn't get around to doing it. And I picked out one season from Randy Golden and Randy and Golden, where I showed that like, hey, they were a couple of possessions, some turnovers away from having a 10-win season, and not even the season that they won 9 games. So it goes back to this particular question. Somebody said this to me a couple of years ago on the message board. I think maybe this was Harbaugh in Michigan, and I said, hey, well, man, Michigan won, and he said, well, all 10-win teams are not built the same. And that stuck with me for some years ago. So QB, when you say 10 wins next year, and Cuban says, "Hey, well, you're talking about the direction of the program. What do you mean?" Okay, I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna combine the two together. When are we talking about a 10-win where it's like we have about it looks kind of like 2017 10 wins? Or is it like a definitive 10 wins where like the margin of victory is at least 9 to 10 points?
I would say the margin of victory is between 9 to 10 points.
Oh boy. Oh boy. You did the gusto right there. That's the gusto. Oh boy.
Hold on. You said 2017. There was a lot of close games there too.
No, that's what I was saying. I said, are you talking about a 2017 10 win? Or you talk about 9 to 10 point victory on average? Because obviously, some of them are going to be, whatever it is. But okay. Like I said, hey, I'm still on 8 wins because I feel like it's going to be a lot to replace. And obviously, you can luck up, the ball can bounce our way. Maybe you get through a season injury free. So
1 game improvement.
Hey man, we're going into year 3 of 9.
12.
But we the defending national champions.
12.
I mean, you're right. We are the defending national champions. But,
It's the dozen.
hey, but hey, things happen though. We got a lot of super seniors leaving, and Jim Harbaugh may be leaving. So we gotta get that together. We're gonna drop from 15-8.
But here's the thing: if we're only going to settle for like 8 wins because we're losing people this year, we're going to lose people next year too. We're going to lose Kiko next year. We're probably going to lose Messador next year.
Hey QB, that's exactly why I said this is why I made that video I made over the summer. I said Mario pushed all the chips to the middle of the table this year, and he went to the casino, and he looked to hit the jackpot, and we didn't.
He puts the chips year 1. What are you talking about?
No.
Remember that staff we got in Coach.
All-Star.
So what did he say? It's the all-star staff, right?
Yep.
He pushed all his chips year 1. He was going to try to get it year 1. So let's not. This is why I think people are like, this roster was weak.
But you know what? No, Cuban. You know what, Cuban? Yep. This is what I'm gonna say about this. This is the only pushback I'm gonna get from that. I didn't think that there was enough defensive talent due to Manny Diaz missing, especially at the linebacker position. I didn't think there was enough defensive talent to really make that type of run, even though I did say 10 wins. But when I say push chips to the middle of the table, I'm talking about Mario Cristobal, in my opinion, I felt like was making a run for the playoffs this year. And after those first 4 games that we had, I don't think anybody in this fan base had a second thought to say, man, we're a playoff team. That's what I mean. Now, yes, you're right. He did push him to the middle with the coaching staff hires, but he went to the casino and got all the chips this year.
I disagree because he got
he put his $8 million on this year.
I disagree because he got a new DC and a new OC, right? It's like you can't really go all in. If you're gonna go all in with like that, then you're gonna get some experienced coordinators in order to win. I mean, think about it: new DC, new OC, and a new DN coach, right? So it's like, and a new linebackers coach. So you really can't push your chips in with those type of coaches.
But QB, but not QB, but Cuban. But what I'm saying is, I felt like from a talent, like the reason I say that, okay, TVD flirted with Alabama or allegedly. We got to get you back, right?
Right.
I'm Guidry. I'm gonna go get a Kiko. I'm going to go get that. We're gonna get a Cloyd or whatever. We're gonna go get a Devontae Brown who. He was a number 1 corner at UCF. We're gonna go do that. This is James and Cam's junior year, so they got a lot of experience on their belt. But
let me ask you one question. Do you trust Mario's judgment when it comes to players?
What do you mean?
His evaluations. If you look at Manny when he got these transfer portal players, right? One was a 1st round draft pick, right? They were pretty successful.
Okay.
I see
what you're saying. This is what I'm gonna say about this, Cuban. And I told people this, right? This is gonna be my answer to that question. We had more players drafted from the University of Miami during the 5 years under Manny as well as Richt than Mario had at Oregon. So That's my answer to that question.
Yeah, I know, because I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to because there
You
was
can say the name. Say the name. Say it. Say it. Say
Kane,
it.
because Caneville, right, asked that question to Manny. I'm like, is he gonna ask that same question to Mario? Right? It's like, hey, this
What was the question?
program produced,
What-
we produce players, NFL players,
Okay.
and there should be no excuses why we have bad records. I hope Caneville asks the same question he asked to Manny. I hope he asks the same question to Mario. Like, hey, we put out good players in the NFL. What's going on? Why we can't win at Miami?
Okay. Yeah.
That happened under Golden.
But that's my answer to that question. I felt like that we had more we had more draft picks than he had at Oregon in 5 years. So, but that's as far as the transfer portal. I mean, I don't know who. I mean, we got Cohen, Lee, Kiko. We've gotten some guys, but I mean, no, we haven't gotten Jalen Phillips. We haven't gotten and I think probably the only outlier. If we have to, well, you know what? I'll say Derek King. I don't think we got. I don't think we got a Phillips and a King yet. I don't. But
So let me ask you this question: who in this roster do you could say is a potential? Oh no, I'm sorry, not this roster. The players that Mario has recruited or got from the transfer portal. Who could you say is a generational player or a player is going to get drafted high in the NFL?
from the
Kiko.
portal or from high school?
From both high school and portal.
Bane.
I mean, obviously the question is Bang.
I don't think Bain will because of his height. NFL doesn't play around with that
No,
with the measurements.
Cuban,
NFL is very picky about measurements.
Cuban. My only pushback to that, and I think, and South Coast may or may not agree, and QB may or may not agree, but I see Bang moving to the inside his junior year, and that's where he's gonna make his money. I don't see him staying on the end.
He's going to be an undersized defensive tackle.
But it'd be quicker.
That's
What,
true.
what is Bang? 6'2"?
Yeah,
Yeah.
6'2".
So how tall does he need to be?
No, I think he's perfect for college, but we're talking about NFL. This is grown men where the offensive line averages
Is
about.
Bang? How big is Bang now? What, 250, 240?
Nah, he
No,
looks
Bane
about
about
280.
270.
Yeah, he look
Yeah.
about 270, 280.
Okay, well, shoot, over another 2 years, Bang can put on another 15 pounds. No problem.
Hopefully.
First round draft pick.
If he puts up another year like this year, yeah. And I'm talking about early too.
All right,
Because,
so that's one player. All right, give me another one.
Generational, man,
Not generational, but just get drafted in the first rounds.
that's hard. That's hard
I
because,
mean, just think about it. And I don't like doing this, but Manny had Cam, um, Williams,
but you know what, QB,
LT.
not QB, but QB, but QB. I'm gonna say this though. Um, we got guys that haven't stepped foot on the roster. I mean, step foot on the field. And you get me to be the person I don't want to be. Right?
Right.
You're making me doggone put a shield in front of this man right now. Uh,
Okay.
we haven't had enough of the young guys, in my opinion, to play yet. I think Aeneas Cooper, he's a guard. I don't know how high they value guards, but he's been a very, very pleasant surprise at the offensive line. I think he and Bain are probably just from Mario's players. And running backs, to me, I mean, Fletcher's doing good, but I mean, it's a running back. But I
Now
think
go.
he,
Uh,
Francis is I think right now, I think Francis, I need to see what Francis looks like next year. Right? I need to see what Francis looks like next year. I think Francis has a lot of stuff he can work on, which obviously he's a freshman. But right now, Cuban, I'm gonna leave it at that. Right now, Ruben Bain, the only one. I'm not even gonna rack my brain on trying to do this because I don't like projecting players to that level. But Ruben Bain.
no, I know. Well, my thing is like I don't see any future stars. I just see this team being a just grinded out team. Like there is no future stars in this program now. I just hope you guys realize that. Outside of Bain, there is no future.
We're Michigan. We don't need all that.
Oh my bad, you're right. You're right about that.
We don't we don't need Braylon Edwards. We don't need Mike Hart. We don't need Charles Woodson. You know what I'm saying?
We need a quarterback that throws for 110 yards, 0 touchdown, and 0 interception.
elite. That was an elite 110.
Go 8 for 23.
Boy. Hey, with the two teddies. With the two teddies. Did you see the end zone throw to Jordan? Did you see it? Beautiful. Beautiful. My quarterback, man. But no, man, we've been on 2 hours 15 minutes, man. We'll try to wrap this up. Any other pertinent news that y'all want to speak about South Coast Cuban QB? If not, we'll go ahead and give our last words.
Jordan, could I ask the question, or I got to save that for your show only?
Oh, this is Shad's party, dude. You can do what you want to, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, as long as you don't, your views and opinion don't conflict with those of management.
Well, I got a bone to pick with Jordan because he keeps ducking the smoke on F123. He doesn't want to, battle me.
Oh man,
Jordan does not want to battle me on F123. But the question is, are we in rebuild or remodel?
Lewis Hamilton.
Jordan. Oh, Jordan's about to go crazy on you.
it could have been worse. Nah,
That's the only person I know. Lewis Hamilton. That's all I know. And that's because I watched Top Gear. The original Top Gear.
Well, it's starting to look like as the days go by, we are good. In my opinion, we're transitioning from remodel to rebuild, just for the simple fact that we're starting to get a lot of younger players in. But I think right now,
let me see.
Right now, I think we're still kind of the needle is a little bit towards the rebuild, but it's starting to move to the remodel, but it's starting to move to rebuild just for the simple fact. I mean, it's hard to say.
Pilo said it could be one of the linebackers. Which one do y'all think?
Kiko.
Yeah,
I think he's talking about one of the younger guys.
We'll see.
I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough of them playing. Hey, you know what? Someone brought this up. Do y'all feel like Kiko better than Shaq?
No.
I think Kiko was utilized better than Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kiko kind of being used like how we use Pinckney, but I don't see him being better than Shaq. That was some guy said, but again, I knew he was probably saying it from the vantage point of Shaq was a Manny guy and Kiko's a Mars. So I think he was saying it from that pretense. So I didn't feel like further engaging. But Cuban, when you what are the definitions of these two words? Because I answered the question on South Coast Show, but I need a better definition of remodel and rebuild.
Remodel is what you said, putting all the chips in. We got to replace 1 or 2 players here and there. And a rebuild is you strip everything down and you start from scratch, like we might do next year, like Jordan said.
Oh. And so you asking was this year? Oh.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That was the topic of the show, Shad.
I know, but I wanted a better definition because
the reason why I came up with that question because the narrative that gets pushed is like, oh, Mario took over a rebuilding program. I'm like,
over FIU.
where?
He took over FIU again.
Huh?
He took over FIU again.
Yeah, he took over. It's like, yeah, he took over a rebuilding program. I'm like, what? That didn't make any sense to me.
We had a Bowflex in the weight room.
Exactly.
No, but Cuban, you didn't make it to the show because South Coast was asking about you. Me and South Coast, we rocked out. And the answer that pretty much all of us gave is it started off as a remodel and then it immediately went to a rebuild. Immediately. So, QB, what do you think?
I agree with South Coast. Like, I think it's a blend of both because I think they already know what type of scheme they want to run. They're just trying to find people. Well, That's.
Oh,
I
no, I was
think they
gonna say,
just.
what scheme? What scheme you talking about?
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. Dennis,
Yikes! He's supposed to just sign an extension, 8 years, 120.
Dennis, I need to see you at a football game. Dennis, when I come to Miami, Dennis, I'm looking for you. We gotta hang out. Dennis is a savage.
Yes, he is. He's been. He's yeah.
That's what he wants.
Line stepper.
This is what y'all. Oh, Dennis, listen, ain't no
But
line no more. Dennis is. What's up?
but
I'm
see,
here.
this is, and I
Holla.
don't want to cut in the Cuban's thing, but I mean, this is what's good. This is this. I'd rather be part of this type of discussion instead of what you hear on some of these other channels. That's all I'm saying. I mean, to me, this is. I like this. I like.
Hold up. What's the other one? What did they do? Is it always about, hey, this QB makes sense?
Oh shit.
Hey, they could have put South Coast up there, and I would have been in there arguing. Man, it's just something. Man, he's from Louisiana. Man, those guys got a chip on their shoulder. Man, he's gonna get the guys ready to play. Man, you gotta look at the film. What film? It's a highlight tape. Film like y'all got all 22 coverage or something.
Right.
I go sit down somewhere.
Nobody has told me what's the mascot for that damn program.
Oh, it's the Great Danes, isn't it? He went from a Great Dane to a hurricane. I think that it's. I think it's a dog. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, but you know, I'm gonna tell you what's funny. Dudes were talking about, well, Florida State got Jared Verse. Jared Verse had ideal defensive end size. We're talking about an undersized quarterback here. These are not even the same discussions.
And he was the number 2 transfer portal guy
Exactly.
at his position.
We hadn't even heard of this guy. But again, like I said, and like I said, respect Anthony because he made some great points. Again, hey, he could turn out to be something nice. I'm not gonna pass judgment on the guy. I'm not.
But here's the thing, though. If another school, let's say a rival school, got this guy, will we be scared or we'll make jokes?
Oh man, you already know what it would be. Man. You already know. Hey, but you know what? And this is what's so bad about it. The people going so far to validate it. Well, you see, he had an offer from Georgia. Man,
I mean, it's
I
it's
hate
crazy. It's crazy.
Bro, I really hate that. Like, bro, if you got to go ahead and say, oh, well, you see, Georgia wanted him.
But we clown Tommy Kennedy. Remember that guy?
Oh, they clown Zion.
They clown Zion.
Yep.
So I'm not, it's whatever. But anyway, like I said, guys, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna try to get out at 2:30 mark. Man, what are y'all last comments and stuff, man? I really appreciated this. South Coast, what you got?
Well, just again, it's my pet peeve, but you got to realize a lot of these cats, I think they make up the drama in order to, they make it up to incite it and fan the flame so they can continue to get their clicks and get their views. So y'all just, it's that time of year. It's the off season.
So they don't
Not
know
much going on,
so they
you
don't know
know,
they don't know Martin Luther King.
but I mean, but as far as it as my last parting shot, if you will, as far as HR Puffin stuff, we'll just see. Time will tell.
Y'all took shots this show.
All right. So my turn. It's the off season, right? So the off season question every off season: Nike or Adidas?
Hey, my team, we wear Jordan brands.
Jordan.
Oh, Jordan Brand. Yes. The rumor is we're going. I'm doing what the rumor is. We're going to Nike because they don't even wear Adidas anymore, and we're going back to the 2001 Hurricane uniforms. Get ready for that.
We need to go back to the old what was it, the champion jerseys?
Hey, listen, I saw something today though. They said an Adidas school has not won a national championship since I think like 2006. So,
Mm.
and who played for the title in 06? That was at the US.
Well, Washington is Adidas.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
it's LSU?
No.
So LSU.
Then
No,
they-
LSU was
no,
205, right?
No, it was Florida versus Ohio State 06.
Yep.
Ohio State were wearing Adidas.
No.
Russell.
No. Ohio
Russell.
State's been Nike.
They said they hadn't won in the national championship since 2006. That's what I saw. But then again, you know what? They probably won them sites. So you know what? I should have checked.
Well, just get ready. It's the off season. We're gonna
But
hear
yeah,
Nike or Adidas.
Pony Athletic.
Hey, no, but
Wilson.
Ken Dorsey's showing back up though. So QB, what you got?
Whatever acquisitions we get in the transfer portal, it's probably going to make sense.
Yo, oh my God. Y'all not even being serious right now. Y'all not even being Oh my God.
Damn.
I gotta put the disclaimer back out again.
Well, it's not like we're getting paid for these appearances.
You know what, South Coast? You are 1,000% right. We are not
So-
being paid to put out this BS.
Oh,
mean,
so that $1 million I got on my cash app, that wasn't you, Sam?
No.
Oh, that was.
No.
Oh, that was Sad with a C, not Sad with an S. Oh, my bad.
That one that you sent that to, they got a space between the D and the 1. That wasn't me. He got to be more careful. But anyway, man, like I said, but I appreciate you guys jumping on here, man. Great discussion. Like I said, might go live again next week. But I'm sure we'll have more to talk about because obviously, it's going to be another transfer portal window. It's going to be time to talk about spring ball soon. So, it'll be some stuff to talk about. So, but like I said, man, I appreciate y'all jumping on, man. I'm gonna
No problem.
go get up
Thank
out
you.
of here.
Thank
All right,
you.
then. So as always, man, like, share, subscribe. As always, it's all about the you. Oh yeah. All four of us are on Twitter. The names that you see on the screen, these are our Twitter handles. QB is the most savage of all, followed by Cuban. Then
Yeah, if you come after me, you better come correct, because I will come after you very aggressive. I don't.
And me, myself, I am a Mario apologist. I feel like we need to be patient. I feel like that it takes 10 years to rebuild something that has been destroyed in 20. That's my stance on this whole thing. But now,
And I am running a New Year's special for my Insider Club.
so as always, like, share, subscribe, and as always, it's all about UM. All about UM.
Later, y'all.
So I'm out. So like, share, subscribe. It's all about UM. I'm out.